Join me in this DC Curtain. You're watching PokeCast. Today's review is going to be on Spider-Man 2. That was released in 2004, directed by Sam Raimi. I think I said that right. Okay. Well, I guess I should do a talk about real quick this on on the IMDb. It has a 7.4, and there's good reasons for that. And that's why I'm doing this review. What I personally feel about Spider-Man. Okay, first of all, the movie itself. Let's just face it. It has some great action in the movie. Story is well written. I'm trying not to laugh. Okay, the story is okayly written, and you're able to enjoy seeing Dr. Octopus, or Dr. Octavius, in a really cool-looking way. One thing that I did enjoy about this particular movie is that they're in a comic book world. So as you're seeing some of the battles, some of the things that happen are totally comic book-y. As you're watching it, you'll see what I mean, like where physics don't always match what happens, and that's a good thing because it is a comic book movie. Now let's talk about some of the things that really makes this movie not okay. That's the main point of why I'm talking about it, and why I did not give this one 10 out of 10 stars on it. Okay, so in the movie, this is, of course, we're seeing Peter trying to get through, establishing himself as Spider-Man, which we already saw in the first film happening. That was okay. Pardon me. As this movie goes on, we see poor Peter Parker's downside to being a Spider-Man. The whole movie is basically like that. Oh, poor Peter Parker. He can't have a girlfriend. He can't do good at school. He can't do this, he can't do that. And I have to think about it. Every time I've read a Spider-Man comic or watched a Spider-Man show, I've never really seen that part of Spider-Man. That's because Peter understands how to manage his life well. He can be Spider-Man while maintaining his job, while maintaining a relationship, and he's able to do all this. But in the movies, they show more of a, what if Peter couldn't handle being Spider-Man? And the whole time, you're just sitting there like, really? Of course, they go a little bit further into this, showing how poor off our hero is, to where his powers start to mutate. Or they're trying to introduce the mutation part of Spider-Man, where he actually is losing his powers, but at the same time, he's having a huge mutation going on to where he almost becomes, or does become, the Man-Spider for a while. But they don't go the full story. They show, oh, well, it's all up here. That, in my opinion, wasn't a good idea to do, because the whole story arc about him losing his powers and then gaining too much power and becoming the Man-Spider, before he's able to regain the ability to be Spider-Man and stay human during that, it's very interesting to see that they try to take major parts from that, ruin it, and then try to introduce it in the movie and make it, oh, Spider-Man's just having one of those things in the mind where you can't do something. Like, what? Of course, then we have Mary Jane. She's always been portrayed as this awesome, strong girl. And the one thing I don't like is how Gwen Stacy has completely become taboo almost to talk about in movies, and they focus only on MJ. It's something that is definitely from the Ultimate Universe, and what people, I guess, more people enjoyed Mary Jane for the later readers, so that's why they introduced her more. But still, we needed to see Stacey Gwynn in these movies. But she tries to play this heroic thing, but it's like whenever we see her, she's always just kind of like trying to, move things along with them too, and then she's either screaming or talking to Peter Parker. Yes, the screaming. Other parts of the movie that really just like, oh no, you can't do that, is during the whole train fight, which is the best fight in the movie, in my opinion. Spider-Man loses his mask. It's like all of a sudden everybody can see who Spider-Man is. Now that right there, I don't know if that ever happened in the comics, because as far as I remember, especially with Civil War, they flat out said that Spider-Man, it's imperative that Spider-Man reveal his identity in Civil War because he is the most guarded secret identity out of the entire Marvel Universe. But no, during this fight, and it seems like during these movies, his mask comes off more than once because everybody's allowed to know him, including at the end fight where he's fighting against Doc Ock and all that. He has to take off his mask, and Doc Ock sees who he is. It's like, Doc Ock doesn't know who Spider-Man is. So that was one thing that really ticked me off watching the movie, is that every chance possible that they could take off Spider-Man's mask, that way you could see who Spider-Man is. It just takes away from the source material and the importance of how Spider-Man was able to keep a secret identity. I mean, there was that one time in Spider-Man show where they take off Spider-Man's mask. It's like, Peter Parker? Yeah, right. He's not our villain. He's not our arch enemy. No wonder you sucked. You're just trying to get your aunt back, you idiot. We wanted Spider-Man, and it's so important that they are so different that it's that important. And I really did not like that they keep on every chance possible having Spider-Man get his mask burned or ripped or something. So yeah, and we won't even go into the Green Goblin. Yeah, that's for a different review. Yeah, that's for movie 1 and movie 3. So, let me think. The only last thing is, this is what you see most of the movie. It makes no sense to me why we have to see so many. Start Scream Cam now. Welcome back from Screen Cam. Why do we have to see, like in almost every scene, a beautiful girl screaming her head off, bloody murder, just for we could have Spider-Man come and save them, or hopefully save the day when they're fighting Doc Ock? I mean, when you watch the movie, it's everywhere. There's a screaming girl here, screaming girl here, screaming girl here. Mary Jane screaming again. Maybe that's why I like Lois Lane more. She doesn't scream as much. She's more just like, great. Superman, will you save me already? That was one of the things. Now, on the parts that were actually good, like I said, the fights were not bad. They actually took the time to make Doc Ock look what he's supposed to be like. You enjoy watching it. You see how they're able to bring him to life, and you get to enjoy just seeing, that part of it. And of course, the scenes where we actually see Spider-Man fighting and being Spider-Man are amazing. I don't know why they wanted to go for like a Superman or Incredible Hulk feat of strength that technically Spider-Man wouldn't be able to do, most likely, but they went out of their way to show him, saving the people on the train, which was pretty cool. But at the same time, it was kind of like, I don't know, would Peter actually be able to do that? So there's little things that kind of they messed around with and had fun with, which worked out for good. And there are a lot that just did not work at all. And let's face it, the best part of the movie is when you see JJ in the Spider-Man suit messing around. It's just like, yeah, to be done. They did it. It's fantastic. We love that part. It was great. Now, despite all of the bad things that the movie is, that's why I cannot give this movie a 10 out of 10. I gave this one a 7 out of 10 because there was just so much that they did wrong that it just irks you so bad. But because of all the fights and how they really portrayed some of the characters I was happy to see in the movie, is why the movie gets a higher score than it should. All the other elements of the movie that they really just didn't care and destroyed. Unfortunately, that's a Sony Spider-Man movie for you. That's the bluntest way to say it. Not just what Sony has done. So we have to wait and see how Marvel does now that they have the rights to use Spider-Man again. So it's going to be very interesting to see how it's going to work. So that is why this is my review on why Spider-Man 2 is so horribly bad, but yet it's fun to watch. So hope you guys enjoyed this little review on it, and yeah. As always, if there's any reviews you'd like to see, leave it below in the comments below and let me know. And as always, what was your favorite and worst part of Spider-Man 2? Let us all know because it's always fun to see. And this is T Security saying ciao and sayonara.